Thank you so much, Maggie. It's a pleasure to be here and to be bringing this content here to you today and the folks that are going to be joining us here live as well as on the replay. I am really excited to get started, and I have a lot to cover, and I do hope that all that are listening will find great value in this and definitely be able to implement what is learned here today. So I'm just going to go through and jump right in since you've already done the intro. So today's topic that I'm going to be covering is 3 proven sales funnels for booking more clients consistently, even if you don't have a big email list. So just before we jump in, because I am about to get started, I'm going to ask you to silence your phone if you still have it on, loud, your regular ring, log out of Facebook if you can, remove all distractions so that we can focus here. It's not gonna be 60 minutes. I'm thinking it's gonna be more like 35 or 45 minutes. And I'll definitely be sticking around to answer any questions that may come up. So I just really want you to get in the zone so that we can truly focus on our content here today. And I'm going to be asking you to stay tuned because I do have a special opportunity, a special gift coming your way towards the end of the presentation. So I do come bearing gifts, so stick around for that as well. So just to kind of get a pulse on who's joining us here today, I know there's a chat, so feel free to chime in as I ask some of these questions, or just check in and answer them for yourself. Just really, check in and mentally and see what your answer to these questions would be. Okay, so are you utilizing strategies in your business that will predictably and consistently bring in new clients? Do you feel that you're doing that right now? Again, go ahead and answer yes or no in the chat, or just really check in and answer that for yourself. Are you actively engaging in activities that will bring in new leads or put you in front of new audiences regularly? So here is a little truth bomb for you. If you answered a no to the last 2 questions, you're going to find yourself hitting a plateau in your business if you haven't done so already. Or you're going to find yourself struggling to bring in new clients on a consistent basis, okay? Because that is key. So your goal really in running a successful online coaching or consulting business or service-based business is to create awareness about your solution, specifically visibility around your ability to help potential clients with that solution, to pique the interest of your target audience with free offers that they willingly sign up for, to showcase your expertise, deepen the relationships between you and your audience as they contemplate making a decision to take advantage of your solution. And finally, you want to be able to guide your audience towards taking the desired action that would lead them to making a transformation. That is, buying your programs or signing up for your offers. So what I find when I speak to entrepreneurs, I do a lot of networking, a little bit offline, but mostly online. I find that when I speak to other coaches and consultants who are growing their business, they normally present with 3 real fears. They wonder if they'll ever make enough money or the amount of money that they need to make in order to meet their basic survival needs, as well as be able to pay for some of the things that they would have possibly be able to pay for if they were still in corporate or in their regular jobs through their business. They know that they want to get more visible and show up as an expert, but they figure that people will think they're a fraud. So some people still suffer with that imposter syndrome, even if they've been at this, quote unquote, this, whatever it is that you do for some amount of years or some extended period of time. And I find that people are at a point where they want to hit that, those milestones in their business, like 5K, 10K, 20K months, but they don't think that they can do that with a small email list. But as you know, what they say about fear is false evidence appearing real. So stay with me today as I go through today's training and we demolish those fears together as I share some facts and some actionable strategies with you to accomplish your business and marketing goals. So again, we're covering the 3 proven sales funnels for booking more clients consistently, even if you don't have a big email list. So we're going to be covering specifically how to position yourself as an expert and turn it into sales without hanging out tirelessly in Facebook groups. I'm going to be sharing with you how to bring in warm leads in your business and have them book you for your sales consults, your discovery sessions, whatever you call your initial session with a potential client. And I'll share with you how I land clients who are pre-sold into working with me using this #1 strategy predictably and consistently. So just a little bit more about me, although I think Maggie covered it quite nicely in the intro. Like I said, I'm an online marketing strategist and business mentor. I have done some international speaking, and I've been in business since 2006. Quite a number of years now. We're in different hats, but now currently, as mentioned, as an online marketing strategist and business mentor. And I've had the pleasure of being featured and partnering with folks on different online networks like the Huffington Post, Blog Talk Radio, as well as, again, I've spoken offline. This company at the bottom left here is a company based in Antigua, the Small Business Association there, where I did a speaking gig a couple of years back. And I've had the pleasure of working with a number of clients from different backgrounds and in different kinds of businesses. And for the most part, I'd say those who were not friends, there's a couple of people here that were friends first and then clients. And those that became clients also became friends. So I truly love what I do. I have a deep passion for what I do, as well as a genuine interest in really seeing my clients succeed. And like I said, we remain friends even way after my time, our time of working together, so to speak. So again, let me get into today's content. But before I do, for those of you that are here with me live, and even if you're watching the replay, I want you to make me a promise. I'm going to kind of hold you to task here, because if you're watching me here now, chances are you've attended other presentations in the past, and the webinars or master classes like this, and we'll do that and with all good intention of implementing afterwards, but sometimes we don't. Okay, and I really want to hold you to task to promise me that what you learn here today, you're going to actually implement and give it some time to work for at least 3 months, okay? And why this is critical is because you need to execute, create momentum, track your activities, test and tweak to get results, usually, with anything, right? You have to implement and be consistent and give it the time that it needs to work. The strategies that I'm going to share with you do not guarantee overnight success, but I guarantee that they do work. I've used these strategies and so have my clients, and we have gotten results, okay? So diving right in. Your primary goal with your sales funnel is to move people from one stage to another until they're ready to purchase, okay? So going into a little marketing speak here, we have your typical sales funnel, and as you can see, it looks like an actual funnel. And it starts with awareness, then it moves on to interest, decision, and then action. So the top part of the funnel is where your potential client becomes aware of your brand through your networking, your speaking, any advertising that you may do, any kind of outreach, right? That's the first, that's the way that they would enter your funnel, so to speak. Then they become interested by learning about your brand, its benefits, and how it fits with their lifestyle. Then you move down to desire, where the consumer will eventually develop a favorable disposition towards your brand. And then finally, what we want to do is to get your potential clients, the people in your space who have now, gone through these other steps, to get to a part where they're taking action. They actually say that, they form a purchase intention and say that, yes, they're ready to either engage in some kind of a trial or to actually make a purchase. Okay? So it's on that basis I'm going to be going through today's training. So number one, the first strategy that I want to share with you is to incorporate outreach strategies to new audiences on a regular and consistent basis. So I'm going to share with you 2 strategies that you can use to accomplish that online, okay? And that is guest posting and appearing as an expert on podcasts. So with guest posting, that's when you write articles for a publication, an online publication like the Huffington Post or Thrive Global or any other publication or website online that speaks to your ideal audience. Usually when you do that, you're featured as the guest contributor to that article, and you're credited with, your name, possibly a short bio, and a link back to your website or social media platform. Okay? And with guest podcasting, this is where you appear on podcasts that are hosted by others who have, again, gathered your audience. These are their listeners, make up your targets, your ideal client avatar. And by appearing as a guest on that show, again, you're credited, you're recognized as the expert there. And usually the podcast host will point the listener in the direction of your website or other resource to learn more about you or to collect a free gift that you may have shared on the podcast that you appeared on. So when you are applying to be on a guest podcast, what you want to do, or rather pitching to appear on a guest podcast, which should be, again, a regular part of your outreach strategy, a regular part of your visibility strategy in order to reach more folks, to get them into your space and create that awareness about what you have to offer. You want to make sure, of course, that you've listened to a couple of episodes where you'd like to be featured as a guest expert so that you can truly personalize your outreach to the podcast host and have them see that you do have a genuine interest in, their focus is to give their audience great content through the guest experts that they invite, and you want to make sure that you're positioning yourself that way, okay? So that, again, I'm showing this picture again to show you that we're at the awareness level, right? By doing these, at least these 2 strategies, you're creating awareness of your brand, specifically about who you are, to get more people into your space, to drive that traffic to your website or your social media profiles so that you can start to work them down to the narrow part of the funnel where they're taking some action to buy your products or your programs. So why does this strategy work? This phase of strategy will keep new or warm leads coming into your business on a regular basis. You're showing up as an expert in these places when you appear, you either write an article or you appear on a podcast. And it creates an omnipresence for your brand as you show up in these different places. It's a strategy that's repeatable. You can keep doing it, and it has that residual effect, which is one of my favorite parts. I have people that are coming into my space from something that I did, years ago that stays in the online sphere or the interwebs, as they call it, and people are constantly being exposed to it. They follow the links, they click through to see more about this guest expert, who they are, what their website is, what's their claim to fame, what's their background, and they follow you. They sign up for your free gift on your website, and the relationship begins there until they become an eventual client. So what I find is the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to this strategy is that They tell themselves that they're not an expert and they don't know what to talk about on these podcasts or what to write about in guest expert articles. And my big secret to making this strategy work is that I use my ideal clients' own words and questions to come up with content and answer them in my guest articles and podcasts, even to come up with the interview topics and ideas for experts in various areas. I'm very much in touch with my audience because, like I said, I do reach out. I do have connection calls with people, especially since I'm in the online space, which is different from networking in person. I make a point to get on the phone with somebody. I'll invite somebody from my email list or from my Facebook group or Facebook page to a get connected call, say 15 minutes over a Zoom conference or Skype, and get to know what their struggles are, what they're looking to gain from my community, so that I know exactly what they want to hear, resources that I can provide free and paid, and provide that for them. So people are always signing up for my offers, signing up for my marketing breakthrough calls, which is what I call my discovery session. And if they're a fit, they eventually sign up for my programs. So I want you to imagine if you had warm, targeted leads coming to your website, signing up for your free offer, booking sales conversations with you every month or every week through utilizing this strategy, which, like I said, does have its residual effects. What would that look like for you? How would that change your bottom line? How would it affect your sales, right? You can either answer that in the chat or just look within and see what that could mean for you just by implementing this one strategy, okay? You would be looking at a bigger and always expanding warm market, right? Because once people have read something that you've written on the internet or they have heard you on a podcast, they come to you warm, right? They would have been listening to the podcast possibly as a cold lead, and they take that extra step to learn more about you and by visiting your website and signing up. You're looking at warm leads there coming in on a consistent basis. That would eventually lead to more clients and more money. So continuing on with our sales funnels here, right? Strategy number 2. And as I go through, if you have any questions that come up, I know Maggie is monitoring the chat. Go ahead and post that in the chat, and we'll definitely address them in the Q&A segment towards at the end of this presentation. So number 2 is to collaborate with experts or influencers who market to your ideal clients. So this is the idea of using marketing strategies and experiences that allows you to be aligned with other experts and get exposure to their audiences. So here are some ideas to kind of give you an idea of what that looks like. So you may have heard of telesummits, a multi-speaker event where there's usually a general theme and you have various experts that are speaking on a topic underneath that umbrella theme, and each speaker in that virtual event will promote their appearance on this event to their email list. So it helps you to grow your individual email list, even if you're not the host of the telesummit. And it also has you aligned with these other experts, similarly to how if you were to speak in person at an event where, the headliner, the keynote speaker was, say, Oprah, by also being a speaker on that event, you're aligned with her in some sense, and that really positions you and puts you forward as an expert. Second is giveaways, which works similar to the telesummits, where again different experts will contribute a free gift to a nice big group giveaway that people can sign up for. Again, you're aligned with each of the experts as well as the host of that giveaway if you're not the host yourself. Facebook Live interviews, you may have watched this, participated in this, where it's a two-way interview, I guess almost like a podcast, but it's a Facebook Live where you appear as the expert and you're being interviewed by the host of that Facebook group, that Facebook page or community. And compilation blog post is another idea where you can put together a blog post with a major theme, say, 20 ways to hit six figures in your business. And each expert can, contribute to the blog post with their idea or with what they did to hit six figures. And of course, each of those speakers would promote that to their communities, and you're aligned with these other these other contributors of the blog post as well, right? So those are some other ideas for you. So you get exposure to new audiences when you work on these various kinds of collaboration ideas. Again, it positions you as an expert by association, and your audience expands with an already warm leads, since you've been positioned alongside these various influencers and experts to their audiences. So this strategy takes care of the awareness and interest part of your funnel, okay, as we continue to work our way down. So here's a mistake that I find that people make when it comes to executing or not executing this strategy. They spend insufficient time seeking out and connecting with influencers and experts on a personal level. So they end up approaching these influencers without presenting a clear and effective win-win scenario for collaborating with you, because they don't know you. You haven't spent the time to really make a real connection, to establish some kind of relationship or basis for you reaching out to them in the first place. And so you're going to find yourself getting no's when if say you're the host of a telesummit or a giveaway or a compilation blog post or Facebook live stream interview type of show. People may be unwilling to say yes to partner with you on this venture because you haven't spent the time to build relationships and really connect with them, follow them on social media, comment on their posts, and show some kind of an interest before reaching out, okay? So the other mistake that I find people make is that they push experts and influencers to collaborate on with short lead times. And this conflicts with their marketing calendar. So some of these things, especially a telesummit, usually has to be planned at least 3 months out, 3 months in advance, in order to secure people that will say yes, as well as be able to accommodate the promotion of this collaboration idea on their marketing calendars. So my big secret to making this strategy work is that since I know that this is a marketing activity that works, I try to seek out experts and influencers by joining their community and interacting with them, as I shared before. Then once I do, take that time to genuinely be a part of their community and contribute and ask questions and really have myself be seen, then I'll approach them with a carefully crafted pitch to collaborate with me with an appropriate lead time, being very respectful of their marketing calendars. So imagine if you were able to welcome warm leads onto your email list and into your community by the dozens or hundreds or even thousands, as some of these ideas can do. What would that do for your own funnel? These would be leads that are coming in their droves, showing an interest that you can therefore market your programs or products and services to, right? This kind of sales funnel also, I find, works really great when you execute it right before a launch. So if you are launching a group program, or even if you're launching or relaunching your private coaching program, when you do these kinds of collaboration ideas, like right before that, on the eve of that, it opens you up to being able to put your launch in front of much more people who are already warmed up to you through having come in through these collaboration type ideas. So you really want to spend some time and really put this on your marketing calendar, plan it out, and create your own telesummit or giveaway or series, some kind of interview series, and then know what you plan to do on the tail end of that to warm up that market even more, and then position a product or service or program in front of them to help them to get deeper learning afterwards. Okay? And again, any questions you have on this strategy, go ahead and post those in the chat box. So moving on to number 3. Number 3 is live interactive training experiences. So what you want to do here is eventize your free offers and make them interactive. All right, and I'm going to explain some more what that means. But first, I want to share with you that last year and even into this year, I grew my list, my email subscriber list, more by hosting free interactive experiences, more so than driving traffic to my mainstay free offer on my website. Okay, so what I'm about to share with you really works. And with my expanding community from these free interactive experiences, I was able to sell more programs and enroll more private clients in my business. So with technology advancing almost daily, right? We're doing, live streams, first with Periscope, now with Facebook Live. You can do it on YouTube Live as well. We're able to market in more ways virtually than ever before. There are many event-type experiences that will allow you to attract fresh, warm leads, grow your list, and have them learn from and interact with you, sign up for your free consultation, and eventually sign up for your paid programs. So here's what I meant by the free interactive live experiences. Webinars like this one, okay? Challenges, live streams, virtual workshops. So when I say a virtual workshop, that is if you were to use a program like Zoom conference and have a broadcast on Facebook that would say a 3-hour span, just like you would do if you were hosting an in-person local workshop. Live e-courses, masterclasses, any kind of live training. People like live experiences. Again, going back to Periscope, which started with the live stream craze, and now Facebook Lives, and as well as YouTube Live and Instagram Live. I almost forgot about Instagram. I've done a few lives there myself. So you're growing your community with a warm market, and you're identifying exactly what they want, right? So if they want to be a part of your free experience, your free interactive experience, chances are they'll be interested in your paid experience or your offer, which you can offer at the tail end of these experiences. People get a taste of what your taste of your expertise through these experiences, and possibly what it would be like to work with you. So this is another great strategy to launch just before, on the eve of launching a group coaching program or mastermind, or even your private coaching program. Okay? So that brings us all the way down to the part where they make a decision and they take the desired action. So these experiences, and again, these are webinars, challenges, live stream interviews, virtual workshops. these have all contributed to me being able to grow my email list. And again, once you grow your email list, these are warm leads that are coming into your space who have, pretty much raised their hand and shown interest in what you have to do, but they possibly need to hear more. They're still at the top part of the funnel, and you kind of need to nurture them to work them down into getting to a point of making a decision to buy or pay for your private coaching or group coaching experience. This has allowed me to build my expert status and stand out in my niche. These experiences have allowed me to launch my programs with a predictable outcome or goal, because when you work the numbers, so to speak. So if you say you're putting on staging a challenge, say a 5-day challenge to your community, and you know that your target is to possibly enroll 3 new clients out of that. If you bring in, say, 100 people that sign up for the challenge, and say about 30% of those people actually participate, they show up each day and they're getting excited and they're doing the desired prompts, the required prompts in the challenge, you can count on a segment of those people, that 30%, going the distance when you do put your program on the table to say, hey, you've gotten such great results from this experience. I see that you were taking action. I know you want the end results. How about we have a conversation to see how you can get some deeper learning and transformation in my private coaching program, right? That's how it can filter down from awareness to decision, okay, with one of these live interactive experiences. And this is how it has worked for me to enroll new clients. So imagine being able to predictably and consistently enroll clients with this strategy. What would that mean for your bottom line? What would that mean for the rest of 2018 for you if you were to implement this? So bringing you back, right, full circle to the promise that you made earlier. And again, I want you to stay tuned, because I'm going to reveal the special opportunity in just a few more minutes. But you said that you were going to actually implement what you learned today, okay? And everything that I covered today is totally doable. And I'm hoping that now that you see how doable these strategies are, I'm hoping that you're willing to commit to executing them so that you can see the results in your business. So feel free to chime in the chat box if you're there, if you've gotten some aha moments, if you've seen a few things that you could possibly implement in your business. Go ahead again and type that into the chat so that we can review that later and we can answer your questions. So you showed up today to learn how to position yourself as an expert and turn it into sales, right? You showed up today to learn how to bring warm leads into your business and have them book you for your sales calls. And you showed up today to learn how I land clients who are pre-sold into working with me using this one strategy, which is my live interactive experiences, which I do quite a bit of. I love doing it. I loved hosting challenges, webinars, masterclasses, and live streams for my community. And I wouldn't say I have it down to a science, but I do find that it's a very predictable strategy in terms of, setting my target for what I'd like to, starting with the end in mind, what I'd like to accomplish from this. And then with that saying, okay, based on what I'm trying to achieve, this is the number that I need to engage into this experience. This is the number of subscribers or participants that I'd like to have. And then engaging the folks from that point and inviting them to, look further into whether it's my group coaching experience or my private coaching experience. So I hope that I was able to deliver on what I promised in terms of why you showed up today. And I'm going to be sharing with you some more good news, the special bonus reveal here. And that is, I'd like to invite you to a one-on-one 45-minute marketing breakthrough session with me. This is a session that I have charged for in the past, and I kind of now hold them. It is 45 minutes long, and I really want to host them for persons here to really give you, kind of support you a little bit more in what we covered here today as it relates to your specific situation. So here's how it's going to work. First, we'll take a deep, honest look at your current situation so that we can uncover exactly what may be keeping you from reaching your own sales goals. Then we'll run the numbers together to see what it would look like for you to achieve your goals 3 months from now and even a year from now. And finally, we'll take an honest and transparent look at whether or not you're the right fit to be my next success story. If I don't feel that I can help you, I recommend a couple of other resources where you can get that support that you need for your situation. As I mentioned before, the usual investment is $97, but it's completely free for you here today watching this phone call, and even if watching this presentation, and even if you're watching the replay at a later point. So how you're going to schedule your free marketing breakthrough session is by logging on to stephanietreasure.com/secrets. That's stephanietreasure.com/secret. Let me just give you an idea of what you're going to see when you visit that link. You're going to see my calendar first, right? I want you to be able to book and get that out of the way. You're going to just hit the drop down button at the top to select your own time zone and find a time that's mutually convenient for both of us, okay? Because those are my actual available times. And once you do that, you will be redirected, or you make it an email with a link for you to complete a marketing breakthrough session form, just to give me some information about your business, where you're at right now, what your goals were last year, and whether or not you hit them, and what your target is for this year. And I really like to prepare for these sessions, so it gives me an idea of where you are online, so that I can look at your website, your social media profile. Sometimes I go ahead and sign up for your email list and kind of take myself through your process as we sit, before, as my prep before we sit down and really talk about where you are in your business and what you're trying to achieve. And just finally, I didn't really share any testimonies throughout the presentation, but I have a quick one here of my client, Judith. Judith is actually based in Australia, and she came with only one barter client and no paying clients at all. And we worked in a 6-week program together, and she implemented one of the strategies that I shared with her during our time together. And she was actually able to enroll her first 2 paying clients, and she doubled her investment from that program that we worked with, that she paid me for to work with me to help her get that result. So I just wanted to share that with you. So I don't know if the text is big enough for you there, but if you have any questions, I am open and ready to answer those. I hope you found value in our presentation today.
Thanks, Stephanie. That was great. I see in the chat box some feedback. Someone is going to execute your doable strategies. So thank you for sharing that. And I'll remind everyone, if you have a question, you can use that chat box, or you can email info@savvyladies.org. And so one of the questions we have for you is, what type of giveaways are you referencing? Is it products from your business?
Okay, the giveaways, that is one of the collaboration ideas. This is where you pretty much team up with other colleagues who speak to your ideal audience, your ideal client, but are not offering the same kind of service. and you all pretty much, virtually throw your free offer into a pool, so to speak. So for instance, I may have a giveaway or a free offer rather that is say a recording of a training like this that persons can opt in to receive to learn about proven sales funnels that will help them to enroll more clients consistently. And then my colleagues, say if you're my colleague, Maggie, you may have a free ebook that you will make available to persons who sign up for the email list. Leslie here that's listening could possibly have an audio interview or an audio recording that she did for her audience on another topic. And when persons sign up for that big giveaway, once they opt in, they get access, to a page with these various offers laid out. They will see my free offer, and they can download that if they'd like, if they're interested. They'll see your offer, Maggie, they'll see Leslie's offer, and so on. So that's what that means. That's how that works. At a basic level, that's how the giveaways work.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, do you have some suggestions for how I would pitch myself when I want to be a guest on a podcast or contribute an article?
Yeah, what I like to do is, as I mentioned, I like to do some research first. So if there is a podcast that I know of, that I know, it has great listenership and it's well known, it's popular, and I feel that the host speaks to my audience, I listen to a couple of episodes and then I will, take notes and, the format of the show, what they like to talk about. I possibly follow the person's the Facebook page associated with that to kind of see what kind of posts they do there. So that all of this is in an effort to be able to personalize my pitch. And I usually pitch by email, so I find out what their email address is, usually from their website. And then I will craft an email saying, hey, I came across your interview with Pamela Andrews recently, and I really enjoyed it. And I like the fact that you ask all your guests to tell you what their favorite quote is. And I happen to be a marketing strategist, and I know that you speak to business owners, and I feel that I can offer some insight as it relates to creating funnels in your business. I have a presentation that I've done to my own community, which people have found very valuable. And I feel like if I could be a guest and present that same kind of content to your audience, that they would get great value from it. Then I'll add that if you want to check out where I've spoken on before, here's a couple of links to other podcasts where I've been on, or I'll say if you would like to have an idea of my writing, here's a couple of links to other articles, other publications that I've written on, or a link to a couple of my blog posts. And I'll share a little bit about my background. I'll provide a brief bio about who I am and what I do and who I speak to. And say, if you'd like to speak some more, set up a connection call to speak about a little bit more about how I can be a guest. You can reply to this email and do so. Or if you're ready to book, let's set up some time that's mutually convenient for us to host our podcast or something like that. So I personalize it, give a little bit of background about myself and what I'm able to either write about or speak about.
Okay, thank you. All right, this next question is, I sell children's books. What do you recommend I do to reach schools and become their go-to person for children's books?
Okay, this would take a little bit more of a personalized strategy. What I would do, because it sounds to me right away that your audience or your target client, so to speak, or your target collaborator is very visible. You know exactly who they are. So you would be able to either go online or consult some kind of association or directory of who these schools are in your area that you'd like to be able to be that resource for. And then I would either call or email or check the website, excuse me, either call or email or check their website to see who a point person could be that is either the vice principal or even the principal, or if they have some kind of a public relations person that you could reach out to and personalize an email or proposal to say, look, I have a resource that I feel that would be very beneficial for your community, for the children there, for your organization, for your school. And I'd love to talk about ideas, what that could look like. Possibly if they could have set up a reading to see, kind of gauge the reaction of the students to your content, to your books first, and having invited you in for a reading, then and developing that relationship and see how people connect with your books, then they could say, okay, definitely they like it, and we'd like to include this in our curriculum or in our library, or on our reading list for our students to become more engaged with your literature. Does that make sense? It would really take a very personalized, customized outreach type of approach, I would think, than really marketing it online. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Okay, I'll check if we have feedback on that. But thank you for that advice. Oh, and the comment here, yes, that makes sense. So thank you for answering that, Stephanie. And I think this might be our last question, which is, while running my small business, sometimes I find it's hard to put time aside and really commit myself to spreading awareness of my product. Do you have some suggestions on that?
Yeah, and it's pretty much it's almost going to seem like I'm answering your question with your actual question. Um, it really involves you making that time. You may right now, if you're not already, you probably want to consider this, but having a hours of operation type of schedule, whether you're using an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Calendar or something, and really blocking out the time. I'm not sure if you're working part-time or something, or if you have other responsibilities that will keep you from doing your business, quote unquote, full-time, so to speak. But whatever hours that it is that you're working your business, if it is 3 hours a day, Monday to Friday, then you're going to have to carve out some time, either one of those hours each day or one of those days out of the 5 days, to say, this is going to be my creation time, creating content, coming up with ideas for outreach, or actually doing these kind of outreach emails, like pitching to podcasts, pitching to write articles, pitching to influencers and experts to interview you, or for you to interview them for your community. You're going to have to make that time in your schedule on that day or time of day that you choose, where you're going to create all this content, creating posts for your blog, or creating posts for your Facebook group or Facebook page or Instagram. It really takes that discipline to say, okay, there's a time that I'm just going to do this. And I prefer if you could carve out just that one day as opposed to 1 hour each day, because there's certain tasks that do better with batching. When you're in the zone of creating content, it's good to just sit there and just create content for that period of time, because the more you create, the more it gets your juices flowing, and the more effective that you can be, because that's all you're doing right then and there in that moment. And then reserve your client days, or your whatever you're doing the other days, you do that then, but really just make the efforts and the discipline to carve out that time that you need to get your marketing done, because unless you're marketing, you're not getting clients coming in. So it's just as important to find the time to serve your clients as it is to market to get more leads coming in so that you can enroll more clients.
Okay, great advice. Well, I want to thank you, Stephanie, for an excellent presentation, and we will be sending out Stephanie's contact information and the offer that she mentioned as well. But Stephanie, can I just ask that you explain it again for anyone who's interested in signing up?
Yes, absolutely. So you're going to visit the link, the website link, stephanietreasure.com/secret. Once you do that, what you're going to see there is not going to look like a regular web page. You're actually going to see, I mean, it is a web page, but embedded in the web page is a calendar. It's my personal calendar, and you can go ahead and choose a day and time that's convenient for you within your time zone. And you can change time zones by clicking the drop-down button at the top, where you can customize, your area that you're in and make sure it's tuned into your time. And it will show you the times that are available in your time zone, which will sync automatically with mine. Once you choose a time and date that's available and book your appointment, you'll be redirected to a page that has a form on it called Marketing Breakthrough Session. It is absolutely key for you to complete that because it's going to ask you questions like what your business is about, where are you on social media, what exactly is your business model, what were the goals that you were trying to hit sales-wise, revenue-wise in your business last year, and whether or not you achieved them, and what your revenue goal is this year. When I receive those entries to the form, I actually do some research on you. I scope you out. I look at your website. I may sign up for your free gift and see what you're doing as part of my preparation for a call based on what you submitted in those entries. So it's important for you to fill that out. Even though you're going to have the appointment booked, I suggest that you complete the form right away. If you don't see it on the page after you book your time to speak with me, you'll definitely receive it via email. And once you do that, we're all set to have our call, and we will talk about where you are in your business right now. We'll look at what you're trying to achieve 3 months from now or a year from now. And then I'll give you a couple of strategies to kind of help you to move forward from, move out of any blocks that may be holding you back. Then we'll talk about what it could look like for us to possibly work together.
Okay, great. Thanks for explaining that again. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today, and we will be sending out that information in an email with the direct website. So thank you so much, Stephanie.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Maggie. Thank you guys for being here, and I hope to see you soon.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.